Hey runners, this is Coach Justin, the San Antonio RoadRunners, and today I want to talk about warming up before we run. Warming up can help us perform better and avoid injuries. But a lot of us don't warm up. Why? Well, perhaps we're short on time, or we're afraid of getting worn out before we run, or we just don't know what to do. But I'm here to tell you that warming up does not have to be time-consuming, tiring, or overly complicated. If we understand certain basic principles, we can all develop a warm-up routine that meets our particular needs. So let's get started. The first principle is adaptation, how our body responds to the demands that we place on it. Now, if I sit down, my body is at rest and my muscles are not going to be demanding a lot of blood, energy, or oxygen. Instead, my heart is going to send that blood to my internal organs. And there's not a whole lot of demand. My heart rate will be slow, my breathing will be slow. But if I get up and suddenly start to run, everything changes, and it's going to change in a big hurry. The body goes on red alert. Our muscles are suddenly demanding blood, oxygen, and energy. The heart and lungs desperately try to keep up. Our joints may feel stiff or even painful. Not only does this feel terrible, we run the risk of straining a muscle, tendon, or ligament. And for some of us, under some conditions like extreme heat and extreme cold, this can even be dangerous to our overall health. So the big lesson from this is that we have to let our body adapt gradually rather than force it to change suddenly. This is why we do a warm-up. Warm-up, we can increase the demand on our heart and lungs, our muscles and joints gradually. So how do we do a warm-up? Well, this is where the second principle comes in. We want to do rehearsal moves. What do I mean by that? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We want to take motions that rehearse the action of running, that prepare our body and specific joints and muscles for running. We rehearse the act of running. So how do we do that? The most basic rehearsal for running is walking briskly for a few minutes until you feel warm and your heart is beating a little bit faster. For an easy run on flat terrain, this may be all the warm-up we need. But a more demanding run like speed work, hill work, a tempo run, and especially a race, demands a more thorough warm-up. So from brisk walking, you may want to move on to an easy run, but after that, we want to do some of those rehearsal moves, specific exercises that work parts of our body that we're going to use for running. So what are these exercises? Well, there's a lot of them. What I do, I start at the top of my body and work my way down. Start with the shoulders, just to get them limber, loose, relaxed, so that my arm swing during running is easy and doesn't get in the way. I also want to make sure that my trunk, my lower back, is limber. So I'll do some of these just to kind of wake up that part of my body and make sure those muscles are warm, and also turning. And another one I like to do that helps the back of my legs is to hinge at the hip. I'm not straining to try to reach my toes, but instead just to kind of wake up the hamstrings and glutes. Now, another major joint that's involved in running, of course, is our hips. So I like to pull my knees toward my chest, increase the range of motion in my hips. I also like to swing my leg from the hips, and of course you want to do this on both sides. And a great exercise for all the joints in the lower body, all those major muscle groups, is the squat. Take a stance about shoulder width apart, and you drive the hips backward and down, just like sitting in a chair, and come back up. And this work the thighs, the hamstrings, the glutes in a really productive way. Now, of course, you want to wake up the knees as well, and a very simple thing to do is just extend at the knee so that the muscles here in the thigh, the quadriceps, will wake up, and the connective tissue around the knee will also become warm. And then finally the ankles. You want to go up on your toes, and maybe you rock back on the heel. Another thing I like to do for the ankles is move the foot around in a circle, one direction and then the other. And from there you can go on to more vigorous movements, such as just lightly bouncing. And then turn that into the old gym class favorite, jumping jacks. And from there you can go back to an easy run and then gradually increase the speed. And if you're really facing a hard workout or a race like a 5K, you might want to include little bursts of speed to get you really warmed up and ready for your performance. The thing to do throughout your warm-up is to pay attention to what your body is telling you, to listen carefully to what it is telling you about what is warm, what is stiff, what needs work. Think of yourself like a pilot who does a walk around of his plane, inspecting it and going down a checklist to see that all the major systems are ready for flight. So these are the basic principles of doing a warm-up for running. Please give them a try. This has been a training video from the San Antonio RoadRunners. We are San Antonio's largest running club. We invite you to run with us, to train with us, and to race with us. It doesn't matter if you're fast or slow, we have a place for every pace. For more information about membership and our activities, go to our website, saroadrunners.org, or look for us on Facebook. Thanks for watching, and keep running.